Tonight, when the sun goes down, you will reach for a switch without thinking. Light will flood the room instantly. You will not flinch. You will not look over your shoulder. But the real answer to why you can do that so calmly is far stranger than you think. For nearly all of human history, the night was not a backdrop. It was a predator. When the sun dropped below the horizon, your ancestors did not relax. Their pulse climbed, their pupils widened. Every shadow became a question with no good answer. You inherited that wiring. It is still inside you right now. Anthropologists have a name for what early humans feared in the dark. And it wasn't ghosts. It wasn't monsters. At least, not the way you imagine them. It was something simpler and somehow more unsettling. The unknown shape. The thing that might be a rock or might be a lion crouched low in the grass. Your brain still cannot fully tell the difference. Ask yourself something. Why can a coat hanging on a chair make your heart jump at 2 in the morning? That reaction isn't random, it's ancient. Researcher Daniel Kruger, an evolutionary psychologist at the University of Michigan, studied how human stress responses change after dark, even in modern, well-lit environments. His work found something fascinating. Anxiety about personal safety rises at night, even when there is no real danger. Your body doesn't check the calendar. It doesn't know electricity exists. It's still running software, written for the African savanna 200,000 years ago. Back then, darkness meant something very specific. It meant your best weapon had disappeared, your vision. Humans are visual creatures. Nearly half of your brain helps process what your eyes see. Take that away, and suddenly, you're the weakest hunter on the landscape. No claws, no night vision, no incredible speed, just a soft, slow, upright animal standing in the open. So what did your ancestors do? Did they hide? Did they wait? No, they built fire. Fire changed everything. Richard Wrangham argues that mastering fire may have been one of the most important moments in human evolution, perhaps even more important than tools. Fire didn't just keep people warm. It pushed back the edge of the unknown. It created a circle of safety inside a world that had none. Picture it, a handful of people, sitting shoulder to shoulder, flames dancing, trees appearing, then disappearing beyond the light. Suddenly, the predator loses its greatest advantage, surprise. But fire did something else, something researchers didn't expect. It became the first stage. Anthropologist Polly Wiessner studied the Juhoansi people of the Kalahari Desert. She noticed something remarkable. During the day, people talked about practical things. Food, work, arguments, plans. But after sunset, around the fire, the conversations changed completely. Stories, myths, ancestors, animals, warnings, dreams. Why would that happen? Over and over again. Because fire wasn't only protecting people from predators, it was protecting them from themselves. A mind sitting quietly in the dark will eventually create its own monsters. Stories filled that silence before fear could. And this may be the most fascinating part of all. The first human stories may not have existed simply because people were creative. They may have existed because people were afraid. You still do this today. You just don't call it survival anymore. Think about the last time your phone died, late at night. No scrolling, no music, no videos, just you, your thoughts, and the darkness outside. Did your mind drift somewhere uncomfortable? For most people, it does. That's not weakness, that's history. There's something even stranger hiding inside this fear. Scientists call it agency detection bias. The idea is surprisingly simple. If something moves in the bushes, your brain assumes something caused it. Because in the ancient world, being wrong in one direction was harmless. Mistaking the wind for a predator, you lose nothing. Mistaking a predator
For the wind?
you lose everything. So your brain chooses caution every single time. A branch snaps behind you. Before you even think, some ancient part of your mind has already whispered, "Something's there." That's why darkness still unsettles people who have never seen a wild predator in their lives. It's not about lions anymore. It's about an alarm system that never received an update. Electricity didn't erase it. It only pressed the snooze button. Here's the twist. Fear itself was never the problem. Fear kept your ancestors alive. Without it, you wouldn't exist. The real danger came later, being alone with that fear. Groups gathered around fires. They talked, they laughed, they told stories, not because they were bored, because they were regulating fear together. Shared fear shrinks. Private fear, left alone, grows. That's why isolation feels different after sunset. Your ancestors were rarely alone at night. Being by yourself after dark was once dangerous all by itself. Modern life flipped that completely. Now millions of people spend their nights alone. Silent rooms, dark windows, one glowing screen. The fire is gone, the circle is gone, the stories are gone, but your nervous system never got the memo. Maybe that's why anxiety feels heavier at 1 in the morning than it does at noon. Why problems suddenly seem impossible after midnight. Why silence feels different when the sun goes down. It isn't your imagination, it's your inheritance. Think about this. You're probably not afraid of the dark itself. You're afraid of facing the dark alone. There's a difference, and that difference changes everything. So the next time you find yourself lying awake, staring at the ceiling, while your mind races through problems that seemed harmless during the day, remember this: you're not broken. You're running a very old program inside a very new world. A program designed for firelight, for shared stories, for people sitting close together while someone kept watch and someone else told a story. Tonight, when the sun goes down, you'll reach for a switch without even thinking. Light will fill the room. Everything will feel safe. But somewhere beneath that effortless motion, an older version of you is still listening for movement in the grass, still waiting for someone to sit beside the fire and tell a story before the dark gets too loud.